Listen to me. Everything you are, everything you will ever become begins right here, your mind. If you can't control what happens in your head, you will never control what happens in your life. Most people let their thoughts run wild. Fear, doubt, laziness, excuses like weeds in a garden. They wake up tired, scroll their phone, complain about problems, and wonder why nothing changes. Your mind is the steering wheel of your destiny. If you hand it over to negativity, weakness, or distraction, you've already lost before the day begins. I'm telling you, your feelings don't matter as much as your decisions. You can feel tired and still work. You can feel fear and still move forward. You can feel pain and still fight. That's control. Control is not about pretending life is easy. It's about refusing to let your emotions dictate your actions. Train your mind to obey you, tell it what to do, and do it whether you feel like it or not. Because when you own your mind, you own your future. When you wake up in the morning, the first battle you face is not with the world outside, it's with yourself. Your body will whisper to you, stay in bed a little longer. Your mind will try to negotiate, you can start tomorrow. And every fiber of weakness inside you will tell you to take it easy. That's the voice of comfort, and comfort is the slow poison that kills dreams. Discipline is the antidote. Discipline means you act no matter how you feel. It means your mood does not decide your movement. It means your emotions are passengers, but you are the driver, and you never hand them the steering wheel. You think champions wait until they feel motivated. No, they have trained themselves to ignore the fluctuations of emotion. They understand that feelings are like weather, sunny one day, storms the next. If you depend on the weather, you will never set sail. Discipline is the anchor and the engine. It pushes you forward when everything in you says stop. There will be mornings when you feel exhausted, evenings when you feel uninspired, days when the weight of the world feels like it's crushing you. That's when discipline speaks the loudest. Discipline doesn't ask if you want to work. It commands you to work. It doesn't care if you're tired. It tells you to get it done. It doesn't negotiate with weakness. It silences it. Think about the most important achievements in your life. They didn't happen because you felt perfect every step of the way. They happened because at some point you pushed when you didn't want to. You showed up when you could have walked away. You executed when comfort begged you to quit. That's the gap between those who dream and those who win. The dreamer says, I'll start when I feel ready. The winner says, I start now, no matter what. Discipline is not a one-time burst of effort. It's a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets, but the opposite is also true. Every time you choose to skip, every time you allow feelings to dictate your actions, you weaken it. And soon, that weakness spreads into every area of your life. You start procrastinating on small things, then bigger things, until mediocrity becomes your default. You must break that cycle. You must train your mind to obey your command like a soldier follows orders. You decide the mission, you execute it, and there's no debate. The alarm rings, you get up, the workout is scheduled. You train. The task is due. You finish it. This is not about motivation. It's about orders. You give them, and you follow them. There's a brutal truth you must accept. You will never always feel like doing the work. If you wait for that magical spark of motivation, you'll waste months, years, even decades. Motivation is fleeting, but discipline is permanent. Motivation might get you started, but discipline is what will keep you moving when the motivation is long gone. The best in the world don't have easier lives than you. They have learned to master themselves. They've learned that action leads to progress. Progress leads to pride, and pride leads to more action. But it all starts with that first decision to do what needs to be done, regardless of how they feel. When you master discipline over feelings, you gain a weapon more powerful than talent, more reliable than luck, and more valuable than opportunity. Feelings will mislead you. Discipline will never betray you. Do you want me to give keynote? No. To the same *** 600 word high intensity expansion *** in this style, your mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant in it will grow. But most people don't realize they've been planting weeds for years. Every piece of negativity you allow in, every toxic conversation, every defeatist post you scroll through, every complaint you absorb, becomes a seed. Over time, those seeds turn into beliefs, and those beliefs dictate your actions. If you let mental garbage accumulate, you are building a mental prison and locking yourself inside. You can't expect to think like a winner when you feed your mind like a loser. Cutting out mental garbage starts with being ruthless about what you consume. The music you listen to, the shows you watch, the people you talk to, the words you hear, they are shaping you more than you think. Every word carries energy. If you surround yourself with people who whine, gossip, and focus on problems instead of solutions, their mindset will bleed into you without you noticing. The same applies to the news, the endless stream of fear, outrage, and drama. Your brain is not a trash bin. Stop letting strangers dump their negativity into it. You must guard your mind like your life depends on it, because it does. Every great achievement starts as a thought. If you pollute that thought before it even has a chance to grow, you kill your own potential before it begins. That's why the highest performers filter their environment. They control what they watch, what they listen to, and who they speak with. They are selective, not because they are arrogant, but because they understand that every influence is either building them up or tearing them down. Most people don't fail because they lack skills. They fail because their mind is filled with so much doubt and fear that they don't even attempt to rise. They believe the lies they've been fed. It's too hard. It's too late. You're not good enough. These lies come from somewhere, an environment that constantly reinforces limitations. If you remove that environment, those lies lose their power. Think about how much time people spend consuming content they can't control. Hours scrolling through meaningless arguments, celebrity drama, or disaster headlines. That's mental fast food. It gives you a quick emotional reaction, but leaves you mentally weaker. Instead, feed your mind with nutrient-rich inputs, books that expand your perspective, conversations with people who challenge you to grow, content that teaches you skills or sharpens your mindset. The mind works on a simple principle. What you focus on, you feel. What you feel, you act on. And what you act on becomes your reality. If you constantly focus on negativity, your feelings will be negative, your actions will be hesitant, and your reality will reflect that weakness. But if you focus on strength, solutions, and possibilities, you will feel empowered, take decisive actions, and create a life worth living. You cannot wait for positivity to magically appear in your life. You have to engineer it. That means actively removing sources of mental pollution and replacing them with fuel for your growth. It's not enough to simply avoid bad influences. You must also aggressively seek good ones. Just as a healthy body needs consistent nutrition, a strong mind needs consistent nourishment. Your environment is a mirror that will eventually reflect in your thoughts, and your thoughts will eventually show in your results. If you want to change your life, start by changing what you allow into your head. Do you want me to keep going and expand? Keynote no. 3. In this same intense style, every great achievement begins twice. First in the mind, then in reality. Before a building is constructed, the blueprint exists. Before a champion wins, the vision is formed. The problem is, most people have no blueprint for their lives. They wake up, drift through the day, and let circumstances dictate where they end up. Visualization is how you take control of that process. It's the act of deliberately creating the picture of where you want to be so clearly, so vividly, that your mind starts to believe it's already possible. Your brain operates on images and emotions. When you repeatedly visualize success in precise detail, what it looks like, what it feels like, the sounds, the smells, you are programming your subconscious to accept that reality as normal. And when something feels normal, you stop doubting it and start moving toward it with conviction. That's why the most focused people in the world carry their vision like an unshakable truth. They've seen it so many times in their mind that reality has no choice but to catch up. But visualization is not daydreaming. Daydreaming is passive. You sit there and wish. Visualization is active. You engage all your senses. You see the version of yourself that has already achieved what you want, and you connect it to the actions you need to take today. The more specific you make it, the stronger it becomes. Don't just think, I want to be successful. Picture the exact lifestyle, the exact environment, the exact feeling when you walk into the room and everyone knows who you are. Picture the freedom, the control, the strength, the respect, and lock it into your mind. Most people never reach their goals because they keep reinforcing the wrong images. They replay failure, rejection, and fear in their heads over and over. Your mind doesn't care if the picture is real or imagined. It will treat it as reality. If all you feed it is images of defeat, your actions will follow. This is why you must intentionally replace those mental movies with scenes of victory. Athletes do this before big games. Fighters do this before stepping into the ring. Business leaders do this before closing massive deals. They rehearse the moment in their mind until it becomes second nature. By the time they face the real event, it feels familiar. That familiarity reduces fear and increases performance. The same applies to any area of life. If you've already been there, in your mind, you won't freeze when the opportunity arrives. The key is repetition. You can't visualize once and expect results. Just like training a muscle, you must condition your mind daily. Spend time each morning and night seeing your future self in detail, feeling the emotions of achievement, and connecting that vision to today's actions. Make it a ritual. Visualization also works as a filter. When you have a clear mental image of where you're going, decisions become easier. If something doesn't align with the vision, you reject it. If it does, you pursue it. This prevents distraction and keeps your energy focused on what truly matters. The truth is, the world will try to impose its own vision on you, other people's expectations, fears, and limitations. Visualization is how you fight back. It's how you take ownership of your destiny before the world can shape it for you. The more clearly you see it, the more powerfully you move toward it. Most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid discomfort, as if the goal of life is to feel good every second of the day. They chase convenience, they seek shortcuts, they avoid anything that feels hard, and then they wonder why they stay stuck exactly where they are. The truth is simple growth only exists on the other side of discomfort. Every breakthrough you've ever had came after doing something that stretched you, challenged you, or scared you. If you want to rise above the average, you must flip your relationship with discomfort. Instead of running from it, you run toward it. Discomfort is the signal that you're in new territory. It's your body and mind telling you that you're about to step into something unfamiliar. That unfamiliar zone is where progress is born. Comfort zones are traps. They feel safe, but they quietly drain your potential. The person you want to become lives outside that zone. Every time you choose the harder path, the workout when you're tired, the extra hour of work when you'd rather relax, the honest conversation you've been avoiding, you're building a new layer of strength that can't be gained any other way. People believe they should wait until they're ready before facing challenges, but that's not how it works. You don't get ready and then act, you act, and through action you become ready. Discomfort is the forge and you are the metal. The heat is necessary. Without it, you stay soft, brittle, and unprepared for the weight of real life. Think about the strongest people you know. Their strength didn't come from doing what was easy. It came from enduring situations that tested them, setbacks, losses, grueling effort, endless practice. They built their character through adversity, and they kept moving forward when quitting would have been easier. Discomfort was their training ground, and because they stayed in it long enough, it became their advantage. When you avoid discomfort, you also avoid growth. That's why so many people stay stuck. They keep choosing the easy road, and the easy road leads to mediocrity. The hard road leads to transformation. That doesn't mean you have to love pain or suffering. It means you must value what it creates in you. Every rep you push when your muscles burn, every mile you run when your lungs scream, every hour you work when you want to stop. These are deposits into the bank of resilience, discipline, and confidence. Your brain will try to protect you from discomfort because it's wired for survival, not success. It will whisper excuses. You've done enough for today. You deserve a break. This is too much. You must recognize those whispers for what they are, a protective mechanism meant to keep you safe, not strong. If you listen to them, you'll live a safe life, but you'll never know your true capacity. The goal is to make discomfort your ally. That means seeking it out intentionally, not just tolerating it when it appears. Put yourself in situations that demand more than you think you can give. Try skills you're not good at yet. Push your limits physically, mentally, and emotionally. Over time, your tolerance grows, and what once felt unbearable becomes your new normal. That's when real transformation happens, when the things that once intimidated you become routine, and you realize how far you've come. Obstacles are not there to stop you. They are there to shape you. Every time life puts something in your path, you are given two choices: see it as a wall, or see it as a weapon. Most people see the wall. They complain about how high it is, how unfair it is, how impossible it looks, and then they turn around and walk away. The few who win see it differently. They see the obstacle as a chance to grow sharper, tougher, and more resourceful. They don't ask, "Why me?" They ask, "How can I use this?" The truth is, nothing you achieve will come without resistance. Resistance is proof you're moving towards something worth having. If there's no challenge, there's no change. But when most people face resistance, they waste their energy fighting the fact that it exists instead of finding ways to overcome it. Winners take the opposite approach. They embrace the challenge, knowing that every obstacle they conquer becomes fuel for the next battle. It's all about perspective. An obstacle can be the excuse you use to quit or the reason you push harder. The same storm that sinks one ship propels another forward, depending on how the sails are set. The people who rise in life are the ones who use obstacles as leverage. They let challenges build their patience, sharpen their problem solving, and strengthen their character. Every setback carries a lesson, and that lesson is often worth more than the goal you were chasing. The loss that forces you to reassess your approach teaches you strategy. The rejection that stings forces you to develop thicker skin. The delay that frustrates you teaches you persistence. But these lessons only appear if you choose to look for them. If you only see the pain, you miss the wisdom. Many people waste years waiting for the perfect set of conditions before they take action, thinking obstacles are a sign they should wait. But perfection never arrives. The people who succeed don't wait for clear skies. They move through storms. They figure things out on the way. They understand that the ability to adapt is worth more than the ability to plan. Turning obstacles into fuel is about training yourself to respond with action instead of paralysis. When something blocks your path, you don't stop. You find a new route, build a stronger tool, or push until the barrier gives way. This mindset transforms fear into courage and frustration into determination. Instead of thinking, "This is too hard," you think, "This is my chance to prove I can do hard things." The reality is, the bigger your goals, the bigger your obstacles will be. Every level of success demands a higher level of resilience. If you can't handle small challenges now, you won't survive the pressure of bigger ones later. That's why every obstacle you face today is training for the opportunities you haven't even seen yet. You're building the mental and emotional strength to hold your ground when the stakes get higher. Obstacles are like weights in the gym. You don't get stronger by avoiding them. You get stronger by lifting them. And just like in training, the more you lift, the more capacity you develop. What once felt impossible becomes manageable, and what once intimidated you becomes just another rep in your routine. Each obstacle you conquer becomes a piece of proof you can carry into the next fight, reminding you that you've been here before and you've walked out stronger. Obstacles are not there to stop you. They are there to shape you. Every time life puts something in your path, you are given two choices: see it as a wall or see it as a weapon. Most people see the wall. They complain about how high it is, how unfair it is, how impossible it looks, and then they turn around and walk away. The few who win see it differently. They see the obstacle as a chance to grow sharper, tougher, and more resourceful. They don't ask, "Why me?" They ask, "How can I use this?" The truth is, nothing you achieve will come without resistance. Resistance is proof you're moving towards something worth having. If there's no challenge, there's no change. But when most people face resistance, they waste their energy fighting the fact that it exists instead of finding ways to overcome it. Winners take the opposite approach. They embrace the challenge, knowing that every obstacle they conquer becomes fuel for the next battle. It's all about perspective. An obstacle can be the excuse you use to quit or the reason you push harder. The same storm that sinks one ship propels another forward, depending on how the sails are set. The people who rise in life are the ones who use obstacles as leverage. They let challenges build their patience, sharpen their problem solving, and strengthen their character. Every setback carries a lesson, and that lesson is often worth more than the goal you were chasing. The loss that forces you to reassess your approach teaches you strategy. The rejection that stings forces you to develop thicker skin. The delay that frustrates you teaches you persistence. But these lessons only appear if you choose to look for them. If you only see the pain, you miss the wisdom. Many people waste years waiting for the perfect set of conditions before they take action, thinking obstacles are a sign they should wait. But perfection never arrives. The people who succeed don't wait for clear skies. They move through storms. They figure things out on the way. They understand that the ability to adapt is worth more than the ability to plan. Turning obstacles into fuel is about training yourself to respond with action instead of paralysis. When something blocks your path, you don't stop. You find a new route, build a stronger tool, or push until the barrier gives way. This mindset transforms fear into courage and frustration into determination. Instead of thinking, "This is too hard," you think, "This is my chance to prove I can do hard things." The reality is, the bigger your goals, the bigger your obstacles will be. Every level of success demands a higher level of resilience. If you can't handle small challenges now, you won't survive the pressure of bigger ones later. That's why every obstacle you face today is training for the opportunities you haven't even seen yet. You're building the mental and emotional strength to hold your ground when the stakes get higher. Obstacles are like weights in the gym. You don't get stronger by avoiding them, you get stronger by lifting them. And just like in training, the more you lift, the more capacity you develop. What once felt impossible becomes manageable, and what once intimidated you becomes just another rep in your routine. Each obstacle you conquer becomes a piece of proof you can carry into the next fight, reminding you that you've been here before and you've walked out stronger. Your mind is a battlefield, and the most powerful weapon you can carry into that battle is belief. But belief doesn't appear out of thin air. It's built brick by brick through repetition. Every thought you repeat to yourself is a signal to your brain. Over time, those signals form patterns, and those patterns become your reality. If you constantly repeat doubt, you strengthen doubt. If you constantly repeat strength, you strengthen strength. This is why affirmations, when done with consistency and conviction, can reshape the way you see yourself and the way you approach life. Most people underestimate the power of words. They think affirmations are just empty phrases, but the truth is, your brain doesn't know the difference between a real event and a vividly repeated thought. The more often you tell yourself something, the more your subconscious starts to accept it as fact. If you wake up every day and declare, "I am disciplined, I am unstoppable, I am in control of my life," and you repeat it with absolute certainty, your mind will start aligning your actions with those statements. It's not magic. It's wiring your brain for the identity you want. But repetition without belief is just noise. The key is to link your affirmations to action. When you tell yourself you are disciplined, you must prove it by following through on your commitments. When you tell yourself you are strong, you must push yourself in moments of weakness. The repetition plants the seed, but the action waters it. Over time, the two reinforce each other until belief becomes unshakable. Negative affirmations work just as powerfully, and most people practice them without realizing it. Every time you say, "I'm not good at this," "I can't do it," "I'm just not that kind of person," you're programming yourself to stay small. Your words are like commands to your subconscious, and it will obey them whether they serve you or not. That's why you must become ruthless about eliminating self-sabotaging language from your vocabulary. When you replace negative statements with empowering ones, you're not lying to yourself. You're choosing the version of yourself you want to strengthen. Even if it feels uncomfortable at first, that's normal. Your brain resists change, but if you persist, the discomfort fades and the new identity takes root. This is the process champions follow. They don't just train their bodies, they train their self-image until it matches the results they want. Affirmations also serve as anchors in difficult moments. When pressure hits and emotions run high, your mind will reach for whatever thoughts you've reinforced the most. If you've spent months or years repeating weakness, that's what you'll fall back on. But if you've trained your mind with words of strength, focus, and resilience, those will rise to the surface automatically. That's why the work must be done every day, not just when things are going well. The tone and intensity matter. You can't mumble affirmations and expect transformation. Say them with force, with energy, with certainty. Stand tall, breathe deeply, and speak as if you are commanding your future. The energy you put into your words will echo in your actions. Repetition without emotion is forgettable. Repetition with conviction is unstoppable. You have to make this a ritual. Morning, night, and especially in moments of doubt. Repeat the identity you want until it becomes impossible to believe anything else. The mind will follow the path you carve for it, and the deeper you carve it through constant reinforcement, the harder it becomes for old patterns to return.